皆さんこんにちは、本浦瀬里奈です。今年2025年9月30日から10月20日までシャネルのクリエーションを支えるル・ディズヌフエムが主催する素敵な展覧会が開催されます。タイトルはシャネルプレゼンツラ・ギャルリー・ドゥ・ディズヌフエム東京。展覧会タイトルにあるル・ディズヌフエムとは、シャネルによってパリに設立された11のメゾンダールと呼ばれるアトリエと約700人の職人や専門家が集結し、ファッションとインテリアの芸術的な手仕事を探求する複合施設です。今回プログラムの一つであるビヨンド・アワー・ホライズンズでは、フランスのクラフトマンシップと日本の職人技が共鳴し合う誰も見たことのない表現が展開するとてもユニークなエキシビションが行われます。このムービーではこの展覧会に出品する新進気鋭のクリエイターをお迎えして、その作品についてじっくりお話を伺いたいと思います。まずはこちら、東京在住の画家ヘレナ・ルデサーさんです。
はじめまして、ルデサーヘレナです。よろしくお願いします。
そしてこちらは、フランスのストラスブール出身で現在は日本をベースに活動されている画家ウスマン・バーさんです。
はじめまして、ウスマンです。よろしくお願いします。
お二人の仕事場にお邪魔して撮影した映像がありますので、まずはそちらを拝見しながら、お話を伺いたいと思います。まずはウスマンさんのアトリエを見ていきましょう。ウスマンさんはどのような経緯で画家を目指すようになったんですか？
I think it's something I got since I was kids. Like when I was kids, I was drawing and cutting, and I was drawing everything from cartoons to cars to plane to whatever, and he was stronger than me. I can't stop. So since then, like I keep doing my art. But after when I was like 25 or 26, I was working in Paris and I was working as a designer, and like it was great life, but something was missing in my life. And at the time I understand like I need to do some art and painting and come back to what I was as a kid. So
紙を切って貼る手法や水貼りなど独特な制作プロセスについて詳しく教えてください。
For example, when I was in Japan, I learned different technique because the way we paint in Europe with oil painting and all the stuff, and the way we paint in Japan is totally different. So here I meet, for example, washi. So I have to learn how to do mizubari. I have to learn the Japanese way to do colors, etc., etc. And every time I was learning something new, I try to put in my own practice and keep this because how do you say making art have to be playful. You have to have fun and bring you joy. And I try to keep this joy when I was a kid and this feeling like I was cutting and having fun and everything. So the base is cutting, but after, okay, maybe if I work the color like in Japanese painting, like in Nihonga, or how I can put this inside and mix. And after, okay, now I discover washi, how I can mix inside. And is in meeting people, meeting technique, meeting new culture. I mix everything and I give my practice.
This is always with you, like?
Yeah, it's always with me. Like sometimes I don't know where, because I'm the specialist who lost all my stuff. So if I don't find my scissor, it's like, I don't know, like I cannot create, like it's impossible for me.
それでは続いてヘレナさんの制作の様子を見ていきたいと思います。 ヘレナさんが絵を描き始めたきっかけを教えてください。
So ever since I was a kid, I always liked creating things. I think my first memory of when I started painting was when I would go out to eat with my family, and we always brought like crayons or paper, and that was how I would keep myself occupied while my parents would have their conversation. So my sister and I would often paint. And then as I started getting older, I used to play with Play-Doh, and I would make little villages with many different people, and I would make bakery shops and make the cakes. So I've always liked doing creative things. But in terms of how I started doing watercolor was I lived in America for 8 to 9 years, and even though I would come back to Japan once a year to visit family, I missed it a lot. And so while I was in school, I wanted to paint things that kind of brought me back to Japan. So when I was in Japan, I would take inspiration, I would take some photos, I would take mental images, and when I would get back to New York, I would kind of create this own space for myself where I would paint nostalgic buildings, whether that be a sushi restaurant that I used to go to with my parents when I was in Japan, or just Japanese sweets. So it became a way for me to kind of feel nostalgic and feel connected to Japan while I was not in Japan.
絵を描いて記憶をなんか思い出で。
When I paint, I try not to just paint the beautiful parts, but I also try to paint maybe the not so beautiful, like oil spills or maybe a broken wood panel. I try to incorporate everything because I think that makes up the entirety of the scene. I have a Japanese mom and a French dad, but I spent 8 years living in Tokyo, and I only was in Paris for I think 1 or 2 years when my younger sister was being born, so I was only 3 years old. So kind of everything French that I have associated is with my dad, whereas with Japan I have personal experience of living here. So I think in terms of me as a person, I think I'm more Japanese than French.
今のヘレナさんはまたこう描きたいテーマとかってなんかこう変化していってますか？
When I would come back, when I lived in America, it would only be for 1 or 2 weeks, so it would be very limited. What I have, but now it's just there's inspiration everywhere. So I'll go into Konbini and I'll see like the chocolates or some sweets, and I was like, okay, I have to paint it. Even like the onigiri, I think is so fun to paint, and because it's little, it allows me to paint a lot more. So I think the contents of what I'm painting hasn't necessarily changed, but I think I'm getting better over time and I'm creating more because there's so much inspiration around me.
日本のこう影響を受けたアーティストとかっていますか？
My grandpa gave me his book for Christmas when I was first starting watercolor, so he got me the Junji Takada watercolor pens in a 5 set, and then the book, and was like Merry Christmas. And yeah, usually we get gifts from my grandma, so it was really nice for me to get a gift from him, and to think that he went to the bookstore and thought about me was really sweet.
ヘレナさんがパリのル・ディズヌフエムに訪れたことがあると伺ったんですけど、実際行ってみてどうでしたか？
It was so incredible seeing the different maisons. I had the opportunity to go through each one of them and take lots of pictures, and yes, it was 2 or 3 days of just jam-packed going to each maison, interviewing with the director for each maison. But for me, it was just so incredible to see the space where people so passionate about something in one area. And speaking to them, we got the opportunity to speak with the actual craftsmen, and just their passion was just like oozing through. They were like, I look forward to waking up every single day so I can come here to work. And each of the maisons had different characters, they had different tools, just everything was just so interesting. There was so much going on that I was just so, it was so great.
Sometimes I'm using Japanese iwai no-go, Japanese pigment. How a body grow up in a place where there's no gravity. So this time the muscle is really loosey. So not strong. The muscle is not strong. So everything is from ground and everything. One moment in my practice, because before I was working with some chemical like acrylic and all of this, I started to think, oh, I want to have a painting will last in the time and also don't do any pollution. And when I saw the Japanese are working with natural pigment, so take from the ground, the stone and everything, that really give me inspiration. So I start to follow this. So when you say it looks like stone, because it is stone. It's made by stone, so good guess. It's made by stone.
Yeah, this one was one of my rare pieces of New York, actually. It was my first job ever when I graduated university, and then my job was in this building, and I wanted to paint it to remember. So that's why it's called New Beginnings. And then this one is a yakitori shop by my house. Torijiro. And then another izakaya in Kanda that I went to.
なんか日本のコンビニとか自動販売機とかお菓子とかすごいなんか私はちっちゃい頃からずっとなんか身近にあるものだけど、このヘレナさんの絵で見るとすごい当たり前っていうかいつもそこにあるものだけど、なんかすごい愛おしく感じます。
Yeah.
今回の展覧会のテーマは Beyond Our Horizons。お二人が考えるこれからのアートの可能性とはどんなものでしょうか。
I feel it is what the 19M is doing is really interesting because like they are creating a bridge between French craftsmen and Japanese craftsmen. Tradition is different, but the thinking is kind of the same behind. And they are doing this with the craftsmen, but also with the artist. And the artist thinking about between the tradition with the craftsman and the experimentation with the artist. And I love this idea to create a lot of bridge. So it's like us, like we have two work who are totally different. We are side to side, but the fact to put side to side as well create some bridge between us. So for me, Beyond Our Horizon is like creating bridge, see more far than what people think. Yeah.
I think it's really important to always have art in everything. And I think it's even more special that my art piece can have kids be involved and show the importance of art and to really get your hands dirty. I think that's very important. And I think this, in terms of art, I think the title of Beyond Our Horizons is very fitting. As artists, to constantly think beyond the horizon, things you might not be able to see or you might not be able to imagine, and to constantly put yourself outside of your comfort zone, I think is going to be very important for all artists and for all of the next generation coming up.
ヘレナさんとウスマンさんの作品は9月30日から10月20日まで六本木ヒルズ森タワー52階の東京シティビューと森アーツセンターギャラリーで体験することができます。ぜひ皆さんもこのシャネルプレゼンツラ・ギャルリー・ドゥ・ディズヌフエム東京でフランスと日本の伝統の豊かさと現代的な解釈が施されたモダニティを感じていただきたいと思います。では展覧会の会場でお会いしましょう。さようなら。